All right, ladies, we were watching your hitting session from your first, or your hitting video from your first hitting session. We realized a lot of you were having issues loading this tee, so we made it a little bit simpler for you. Okay, instead of, here's your flap right here, instead of having to load from the back side with the seams up and going like this, okay, now all you have to do is make sure your seams are up. That is important, okay? Those seams need to be up. So on this one where it says flyer, that should be facing up. All you do is come right here, bring that under, and push up until you feel it grab the ball, okay? You will feel it start to suction onto that ball, and that's when you let go. And it should hold like this, okay? It's not gonna hold forever, but it's gonna hold long enough so that your partner is able to hit it. Now, understand something. We watched you this morning, or yesterday morning, okay? A lot of you were loading it for yourselves. That takes a lot of time. You don't realize it, but that takes a lot of time. So when you load it, and now you gotta get your bat, now you gotta get set up into your position, and now you go hit, that ball's hanging there the whole time, okay? So instead of doing that, you should have a partner with you loading this up so that when it's loaded, you're ready to hit right away. So now even if it's not stuck perfectly and hanging like that, now at least it's stuck for 5 seconds or so and you can still get your swing in, okay? So make sure that you're always using this with a partner. You have it stuck in there, okay, I helped out. Olivia's gonna hit now, she swings, great. I get it reset, she's getting set up to swing. I steady, I put the ball in, seams up. She's ready to hit. She's ready to hit within a couple seconds of it. Okay, make sure that you are doing this with a partner, and now that we're loading it a little bit easier, it shouldn't be quite as bad. Okay. All right, next thing with the backspin tee is that when you're working on your inside and outside pitches, okay, we talked about that if you want to hit an outside pitch, you spin this here, okay, so you make sure that you're not casting on it, and then you're hitting here, you're lining that up with your back foot so that now it looks like an outside pitch, okay? But there's one more aspect of this that we were forgetting a little bit that morning, and that's the fact that you have to move the net, okay? You have to move this net or you're gonna kill whoever's standing behind it. So make sure not only do you have the tee set up like this, now you flip here so that when Olivia goes to hit an outside pitch, if I load it correctly, okay, she swings, pop, it's going straight into the middle of that net. It's not hitting the side of it, it's not gonna go off and hit the wall. Make sure that you're moving it correctly. And again, if you wanna work on the inside pitch, you flip it here, but the net's gotta come with too, okay? So the net has to go there. Otherwise, again, we're gonna kill each other. So here, seams up, feed it, hold, go. Now it's hitting the middle of the net. This is strictly safety, ladies. Last thing with this tee is that a couple of you, when you were hitting it, knocked it over, okay? That's not because the tee's gonna wobble a little bit no matter what you do, but when you knock it over, that's feedback for you. You should learn from that, okay? If you knocked it over, get set to hit, please. Come through slow. If you knocked it over, that means you hit it here, okay? That's not hitting the ball. That's hitting the tee, okay? Ball's down here. You should be hitting it there, all right? You should be aiming for where yellow meets black. That's your spot. That's middle of the ball, middle to lower half of the ball. That's what you want. So make sure that that's where you're aiming. If you knock it over, it means you are hitting too high. You gotta focus in on the ball a little bit. Okay? When you hit it in the middle, when you hit it yellow and black, you should see the ball go straight ahead. Watch this. Boom, that's a line drive. Okay? So when you're doing this, make sure you're using it correctly and not just getting flustered at the fact that you can't get it to stay in here. It's not made to sit in there for a day and a half. It's meant to stay in there for 5 to 10 seconds. So make sure that you have somebody helping you, feed it, boom, now you go.
Alright, this is going to be our timing drill. What's going to happen is your batter's going to set up. You're going to have another person on the outside and they're going to bounce the ball into your strike zone. Now, you're going to use the plates that have the colored lines. Why? When your batter, when the other person is bouncing it in, you need to make sure that where they're tossing it is going to be in the strike zone. So if they throw it hard and it's an inside and it hits the green line, those are still strikes. Okay, so we have to make sure that we're still hitting those.
For this drill, remember, bouncers, you have the control. Okay, you have the control on whether or not you're throwing them an inside pitch, an outside pitch, a changeup, whatever you want to throw, you control that by your bounce. Okay, if you want it to be just a fastball down the middle, great. Now you're just tossing it out in front, making sure it's coming up right in between right around their torso. All right. If you want it to be a changeup, you got to bounce it a little bit closer to you and make sure it's going high, so they have to sit back, wait, and now come through on it. All right? So make sure that you understand that as the tosser, you're not just tossing and sitting there talking to your friends, you're actually making sure that they're working on all of their different pitches that they want to work on. Okay? So if I'm the tosser right here, I'm on one knee. Okay? I want 1 foot out in front, and I'll explain why in a minute. But I have the control over what pitch she gets. So if I want to give her an outside pitch, I'm throwing it out in front of her, okay, and a little bit harder so that it goes in that way. Ready? That was a pretty good inside pitch because it missed the net. So that was an inside pitch. If I want to give her an outside pitch, it's going to be a little softer, and it's going to be more towards the outside of the plate. All right, so you're here. Changeup. Now normally when I'm tossing, don't hit this, just catch it. Okay. Normally when I'm tossing it out in front of me. So I'm here, it's bouncing somewhere around here in order to get back up into the strike zone for her. If I want to throw a changeup, I need to toss it right almost even with my front toe. I'm tossing it just a baby bit in front of where my front toe is, and I'm actually tossing it harder than I would if I were just throwing regular fastballs or strikes down the middle. Because it has to go up and come back down. When it comes back down, it should land right on or around the plate. Okay? But she's gonna get set up right just as I'm normally pitching. I come here, bounce it here. That was not good. Here. She's gotta sit back and load. Now, you look at that. That was a changeup that she was a little bit early on. A little bit early, so she came through. It didn't come down quite far enough, so it went up. Okay? When they get that timing down of that changeup, they're going to get ready. They're going to sit back. Here. She waits. It was better. It was better. Okay? You have that control. Make sure as a bouncer that you're letting them work on everything that they need to work on. They shouldn't just be working on pitch up the middle, pitch up the middle, pitch up the middle. That's not going to help us. Make sure that you're moving that ball around. If you want to come together and the person you're working with says, hey, I want to work on outside pitches, that's great. Okay? Now you know what you're doing. Make sure that you move the net and you do everything accordingly so that you can work on outside pitches. If you're working on outside pitches, you're hoping that your bounce comes right over this corner of the plate. Okay, as it's laying down, it should be coming over this corner of the plate. If you're working on inside pitches, it should be coming over this corner of the plate. That's what you should be aiming for. Okay, make sure that when you're doing this, when you're timing, while it'll be challenging in the beginning for both the hitter and for the bouncer, once we get that down, it's really going to help us come live pitching time.
Alright, this is going to be the first slapping drill. This is for our feet basically. Normally when slappers go into their position to go hit, they do a step back and then forward. This is going to prevent the step just because it's unnecessary and you just want to get quick to the front of the back. So I'm going to put a bat on in the back of my front foot and then start my normal position. This makes sure that when I take my step forward, I'm not stepping back. So if I step back, the bat's going to move and then I'm going to go. We don't want that. Keep the bat there, cross over, and then hit. Slapping drill number 2, this one's basically just for form. So what I'm going to do, get my ready position, and I'm going to cross over and I'm going to stay in this position. Your partner is going to continually feed you balls. So notice that my hips are squared towards the ball. My hands are still staying up. And as I come through the ball, my knob's going to the ball, and then I'm pointing. So then after you hit it, the person will continually, you stay in this position. You should feel the weight coming through your legs as well. And I'm just going to continually point and hit. Slapping drill number 3, this is to help us follow through all the way to the pitcher. Sometimes we tend to walk away, and that's going to prevent our bat from getting the full extent of the strike zone.